Tijuana is just a border city. We're not typical Mexico, like this is contemporary Mexico, but also the south of the United States. So the border influence, the border aesthetic, I think is really important. Like everything is run down, everything is half-assed, everything is poorly made, dirty, polluted, corrupted. Pretty much we get dumped with a lot of trash from the United States, and people make it happen.
Tijuana has always been pinpointed as having something special.
Yo no podría vivir sin Tijuana. It's one of the best places in the world because you have everything. You have a frontier, you have a coast.
Aquí las cosas de repente no se estancan y se empiezan como a desarrollar, sino más bien están como en movimiento simplemente, ¿no?
People from Tijuana felt they were sort of superior because they had access to more information than people from the central regions.
We only had one channel in Spanish, which was a local channel, and we got the rest of our information from US channels.
We grew up listening a lot of electronic music because the radio antennas from San Diego or LA, they put antennas here in Tijuana in order to put more power. Because if they put the antennas in the United States, they have rules to put less power in the antenna. So we grew up listening a lot of fresh music.
And the scene back in those days, it was really cool because all the bands, they're going to LA to play. Instead of playing San Diego, the promoters, they jump into Tijuana. So most of the bands during that period were playing here in Tijuana. Nine Inch Nails, Sugar Cubes, the Ramones, Psychic TV.
Historically, Tijuana has always served as a scapegoat for Americans, you know. During the Prohibition era in the 20s, that's the way Tijuana flourished, you know, with casinos, gambling, you know, liquor. The legal drinking age in Tijuana is 18 years old, and the US is 21. Americans would come to do here what they wouldn't be able to do in their own home.
Before September 11 was really crowded, but after September 11, the border was like kind of shut down by the government. They became very difficult to cross, not only for people in Tijuana, but the people in San Diego to go here. So then the city was dead. Suddenly the city became very violent. Most of the clubs and places to go and play our music were shut down.
If you're an American and you're watching the news, you only hear about bad things happening in Tijuana. You know that so many people getting killed.
All tourism fell down in Tijuana. Nobody was coming down.
People just didn't went out to the street, and the parties died and the concerts died.
There was no party because it was really hard to go out because
it was even dangerous just to go to the store, you know, you could be caught in the crossfire. It was basically a war zone.
During that period, there were a lot of checkpoints, like soldiers, checkpoints around the city where you were driving and then you stop there and then you can see a Hummer and then 50mm machine gun pointed at you.
Every day in the news and blogs and stuff, you would be seeing so many people dead, and this would happen in every neighborhood.
Unfortunately, drug violence really has affected the creative process.
You are in this situation that there is not a time to be creative because you have to, I don't know, survive. When my baby born, I felt the responsibility of having this innocent baby to this dark world, and I was like, what did I did? What did I did?
exactly at the border between Tijuana and San Diego. The visual of this fence, of this metal fence going all the way up to the Pacific Ocean, it's making its point very, very clear. Basically, every time a migrant dies, trying to cross the border illegally, they put a cross in here, representing him.
The image of Tijuana in the world is the place of immigration problems, the drug dealers and everything. But I think Nortec helped a lot to change that image from Tijuana. When we started Nortec, the first thing that came to our minds was to share the sounds. Norteño en banda, music and electronic reflects this Tijuana.
Nortec definitivamente pone los reflectores y las cámaras del mundo en Tijuana, ¿no? Están ustedes aquí gracias a una apertura de Nortec.
According to Pepe, he was at a wedding and he heard, this music blaring, the speaker that he was sitting next to, and he was also in his mind, he was trying to create techno music.
Pepe called me by phone, and he told me about the idea to mix the sounds, and I tell him, okay, bring it, let's experiment.
They went over and searched for street musicians that, to record them, so they could use that as a base.
The people, when we started to put in the norteño, the idea sounds weird.
They didn't like the mixture of these two different genres of music.
When you put in norteño, you are selling out. The sound is not representing electronic music.
There was this moment of eureka, the know-how that the Nortec guys had, with this aspect of, kind of innocent aspect of sound samples from street musicians made it, just the perfect mix.
The people, when they listen to the first tracks, they starting to this is good, and we were playing the early tracks in different parties, like birthday.
The first parties, maybe 15, 20 of us showed up, but 2 years later they were filling up, large concert halls,
During those days, 1,000 people was a lot for us.
No, but about 50,000 people, festivals. In Mexico City is huge, sometimes 100,000 people.
Entonces Nortec sí, definitivamente abrió un camino importante que a nosotros nos facilita el acceso para llegar a otras partes, ¿no?
The most important thing from Nortec, I think, that they become superstars and they still live here and work here. And that gives you an idea of, oh, maybe I can do it too,
Welcome to the woman's world, a self-regenerated world. Welcome to the woman's world, a damaged and refurbished world. It's all
A lot of the songs are very sad songs or talk about painful things. I live in a very dangerous city. We just get used to and say oh man, I'm not gonna stop my life. If something happens, it's gonna happen. I like my name, I like Azul Monraz, but what happened if I have other name? I came with Madame Ur, and I like it a lot.
She's this Latin diva goddess,
Whereas Azul maybe is shy on some things, Madame is pretty much open and unhinged.
Oh, in real life, she's a sweetheart. She's a normal person, I guess. As a singer, she's a very strong person, and I think that's maybe what she really is inside,
I'm not gonna stop because this is my fountain of life, being an artist. I have doing it all my life, and I cannot stop. For me, love and happiness are the most important things, and everything that I will do is gonna be to make me be close to those things, to love and to be happy.
You don't really know who's a criminal, who isn't. I always say this, but it was a very apocalyptic time. So our music, you can hear like traces of that because our music is very dark. I sort of like curated this project, Los Macuanos, and it's this word macuano that our grandpa used, really Mexican word used to refer to like, you know, like lower class, maybe like rougher Mexican culture, stuff like that. We don't romanticize the sounds, we don't romanticize regional culture at all. We acknowledge its appeal, but at the same time, we sort of try to unveil like all these like intrinsic, like, you know.
Yeah, because there's a lot of grotesque things going on in Mexico.
They have a more academic or intellectual basis to what they're trying to project. In spite of that, you know, they make the party happen.
We're like, oh, okay, so we're really into noise, like, and the whole concept of noise music, that it's music not grounded in any tradition. That was the ruido part, ruido noise, which means it's noise in Spanish. And then you have this other part called son, which is the tradition, the roots, everything.
Ruidoson, that's what we call what we do, Ruidoson.
Yeah.
Tantos maricos se us. I mean, to me, Ruidoson is like emblematic of like Mexico and the stuff that goes on, you know? It's just like this obvious clash between the past and the present.
I came with the name of Maria Jose because my dad and my mom, they have those names, and they're like the greatest names in all the world.
He's funny, he's endearing, he's very intelligent. But most of all, he cracks you up with the things he says.
My lyrics talk about my life. Like in Violentao, you know that Tijuana became like one of the most violent cities in the world.
You can think that he's complaining about violence, but at the same time, he's making fun of the people who are complaining about violence.
Sigue la violencia, sigue la violencia, sigue la violencia, sigue la violencia.
His music is cumbia based, but it's also pop, but it's also very punk.
Este ritmo del güiro que es como... When you hear that in a song, it's like, dude, that's cumbia. Entonces fue como que vamos a incorporar todo eso en lo que estamos haciendo con nuestra música, con nuestras raíces. Hicimos el Ruidoson.
One, two, three, four.
Our sound we call tigre digital, or digital tiger. El sonido del tigre digital es una mezcla de la cultura popular mexicana, pero por el lado kitsch. O sea, el tigre tiene todo que ver con el lado popular, con el lado latino, el lado folclórico, el color anaranjado con las franjas negras, el atasque, el mal gusto.
Very intense, you know, very weird, you know, keyboard sounds, you know, like very cosmic, you know, and the drumming very complex, you know.
Entonces, esa fusión así que hacemos es el tigre digital, ¿no? Que tiene justamente que ver con todo el peso que el país, o sea, que México nos da, ¿no? Y que a fin de cuentas Tijuana termina por ser nuestro laboratorio, ¿no? Y creo que toda esa afectación, a fin de cuentas, las drogas y la mafia y todo, sí tiene una influencia, pero termina siendo lo que somos, ¿no? O sea, termina siendo, nosotros somos una pequeña representación de todo ese universo de cosas que pasan en Tijuana.
We said, we have to do something. We have to play. We live playing music. You know, that's what we do. We make some parties and stuff, and tell all the people we're gonna play. And the people said, yeah, let's go out.
People started getting tired of just like listening to all these violent stories on the news. They just got fed up and started coming out to where we are right now, La Sexta.
A friend of ours, Sergio Gonzalez, opened a bar in La Sexta Avenue, Calle Sexta, called La Mescalera. And all of this, all of the people, that were still creative, that were still doing something, started gathering around that place.
When we opened this bar is because it was not too many options. La Mescalera was created with that concept, like, you know what, we need a place to go out of our houses.
These small bars became like the new reborn of the Tijuana night scene, because they were, putting independent music, electronic music, indie music, and then we started to play again there.
Now there's 2-block radius of bars that used to be basically catered to American spring breakers and the party crowd, and now it's more local.
And it's seen as a sort of a renaissance, that after all the bad things that happened in Tijuana, after that died down, that this is one of the first examples of good things that are happening in Tijuana.
We have to focus on the people of Tijuana. And when you actually believe that, and you actually think about making something for the people from here, people are gonna start coming, coming all the time.
You need courage, and you have to live. You have to go through things. If you wanna be a mother, be a mother. Not just have a kid.
Work hard and create a community around you. If there's not enough scene, create a scene.
We were joking around the other day, we're the first generation of Ruidoson artists. So we definitely want something to emerge from this.
We have a lot of influence from the United States, but we are not North American people, so we cannot be like them. We speak Spanish, pero pues somos mexicanos.
What you're hearing in the news, it's actually true, but there's more to it. There's more interesting things happening in Tijuana, more positive things than negative things.
Our show, we named it The Show Must Go On, because, that's the lesson, the way to beat these problems. We can't go out into the street and fight with these people. We can do our thing, we can still be creative, still play music, and not have fear. And that's what we decided to do, and we just kept on going. It's like as life goes on.